Okay, let's begin. Uh, Good day to my beloved viewers. Let's start our new topic for today. Planning and Control Management, Part 4, Program Progress of Monitoring, Updating, and Controlling. And our previous episode was Part 4, Session 6. It's about updating direct activities and storing past period performance for the Progress Update 001. And that was our fourth segment. And I think we have completed the segments for the updating of the direct activities. So we are now on the current episode, part 4, session 7. The same main topics about progress update 001. But now we will be discussing the current program update durations, unit, cost, percent completes, terminologies, and formulas. Okay, let's move forward. Here we go. I tried to prepare this in a manner as I perceive could be well understood by the viewers because I want that everybody fully understand a bit deeper the terms being used by Primavera P6 before we proceed further in preparing the report output of our program update 001. Actually, we still have a lot to cover for this first program update, but once we finish establishing these stages of exercise, establishing these stage of exercise, the next program updates to follow will be smoother and pretty easy. Okay, let's start to elaborate each item in details. And here we go, the current program update, duration, units, cost, percent, complete types, terminologies, and formulas. So we will start from the activity durations. We have here the original duration. We designate it as OD. Of course, original duration is the duration that when we establish our first project. So the original duration or duration reflected on it is the original duration, and we have here the actual duration. That is AD. This actual duration will be in use during the progress update. So of course, if we update the progress, so we need the actual start and actual finish of the project. But I will tell you first that actual duration, when the project has not yet started, so when the actual duration, the project started and the the activity has fully completed. So the duration will be the actual start up to the actual finish. But when the activity has not yet completed or had started, but not yet completed, or in short, it is in progress. So the actual duration will be the actual start down to the day before the data date. Okay. And the remaining duration, it will be the estimation of the scheduler or planner to establish project how much days will be remaining for the activity. And here is the at completion duration. It is simply the actual duration plus the remaining duration. And here we come to resource units and costs. And we have here, now we are talking about the resource. Here at the upper, we are talking about the durations of the activity, but here we are talking about the duration of the resource. As I explained earlier, that the duration of the resource may not be equal always to the duration of the activities, because there are some resource that it will be used only for a short period of time within the duration of the activity. Let's say, for example, we have the resource, let's say the excavator, the grader, and the ruler. So excavator may not always be needed for the whole period of the activity, because there are some portion of which that the grader, the excavator will not be needed, and only the grader will be needed now. Then after that, for a certain period of time, the ruler will follow until it is completely the excavation, or I mean the earthwork is complete for the whole period of the duration. So that means when you sum up the duration of the excavator plus the duration of the grader plus the duration of the ruler, it will you will come up to the total duration of the activity. Okay, I hope you understand. Next is we have the actual duration. It is also intended for the actual duration of the resource. Next is the remaining duration. So you have to estimate also the remaining duration of the resource when the activity will be fully completed. So, and then we have the budgeted units per time. Okay, that means that is your estimate that, let's say, for example, budgeted units per time, you have to, let's say you have the estimate of 2 carpenters per day. And we have here the budgeted units. Of course, you have the original duration multiplied by the budgeted units per time. And we have here the actual units previous. So this is the cumulative actual units from the previous period. And since you are working, or we are working on the current period, that means the actual to date units will be equals to the actual units previous plus the actual units this period. So let's move forward. We can see it here. So this is the actual unit this period. So next is the actual units to date, which is equal to the actual units period plus the actual this period units. Okay, there are sometimes there is a confusion for some other schedulers regarding the this period units and the units to date. Actually, this units to date is the cumulative of the this period units and the previous. When we say this period, that is intended only for a specific period. Let's say, for example, we are updating on the month of, let's say, September. So that means when we are updating for the month of September, that means the this period units, the actual this period units for that is for the month of September. And the actual units previous is for the month of June, July, and August. That is the cumulative amount. And then if you add it, the previous and this period units by for the month of September, so you will be having the actual units to date period, which is equal to the previous plus the month of September actual units. Okay. We have the remaining units. So the same. We will be estimating the remaining units. How much units do we need to complete the activity? To complete the activity for a certain period of the activity duration. So that is equal to the remaining duration multiplied by the budgeted unit per time. Now next we have at completion units. So that is normally it is equal to the actual units to date and then the remaining units. Okay. Next we have the price per unit. Actually this is the cost per unit or the cost of the per unit of the resource. Okay, we have now the budgeted cost. So here at the upper portion, we are talking about the what we call this. We are talking about the units. Now here at the bottom, we will be discussing about the cost of the units. So it is simply the price per unit multiplied by the number of units, right? In general, that is the way how budgeted cost or cost is being calculated. So the price per unit multiplied by a specific quantity of units. So budgeted cost, we have here the actual cost previous and also the actual this period cost. So it is simply the price per unit multiplied by the actual, I mean the ATPU. What is ATPU? That is the actual this period units. Okay. Actual cost today, that is simply the summation of the actual cost previous plus the actual this period cost. Okay, let's move on. So remaining cost. So of course, it is simply also the remaining unit multiplied by the price per unit. And then we have the at completion cost. So usually it is actual cost to date plus the remaining cost. Okay, next we will proceed to the activity percent complete and percent complete types. Actually, we have already discussed this in the Primavera itself by doing the trial and error demonstration, but this will add an additional insight to us. So activity original duration, actually we have already stated it here in the activity duration, but I just want to be just to emphasize, or I mean just to avoid looking back at here. So we have here the activity actual duration, AD, actual remaining duration, so RD, and then we have the budgeted work quantity, which is the BWQ. I explained to you already this, what is the budgeted work quantity. The example for that, it's, let's say, for example, in the site clearing, so we are required to clear the site for a quantity of 100 hectares. So that is what I mean, the meaning for the work quantity. Next is the actual work quantity. This is when we execute the project, and let's say we have completed 50 hectares of the site clearing works. And then we have here the remaining work, which is equals to the budgeted work quantity less the actual work quantity. Okay. So this one, the budgeted work quantity will be variable only when there is a variation order, or I mean the, let's say the changes of the quantity due to variation or additional work quantity. So we have the budgeted units. So we have already stated it here already under the resource unit and cost. Now we have the actual units. We repeated the terms here because we want to discuss the activity, the activity percent complete and the percent complete types. Next is the remaining units. So this is equals to the budgeted unit per time multiplied by the remaining duration. And we have here at completion units that is equals to the actual units. Actually, this is a cumulative actual units plus the remaining units. Next is the duration percent complete. So, okay, here in the duration percent complete, this is one of the type of duration that we use in Primavera that we use to calculate the activity percent complete. So when we calculate the activity percent complete or update the progress of the activity, we will be choosing the percent complete type, which are of three types. First type is the duration percent complete, which is equal to the original duration divided by the remaining duration, and then less the remaining duration, and then divide it by the original duration or planned duration multiplied by 100 to get the percentage, okay? Next, the second type is the physical percent complete. So as I said, here at the upper, we have here the work quantity. So that is considered as a physical use, or that is considered as to be used for the physical percent complete, which is equals to the actual work quantity divided by the budgeted work quantity, which is the approved one, whether it is the original or a revised one, or with variation, and then multiply it to 100% or 100 to get the percentage. And then we have here the units percent complete. So here the units percent complete is the actual units cumulative divided by the actual, what is ACU, at completion units. Remember that this is at completion units. As I explained, that at completion units is different from the budgeted units. Okay. Budgeted and at completion will only be equal when you are establishing the project at the first time. But when you are updating the program or schedule, the program, the at completion units may or will not always be the same. Mostly, it will not be always be the same because it depends on the performance of the resources. If the resources is working or the efficiency is good enough, then the at completion units will be lesser than the budgeted units. Or if it's not, otherwise, then it will be larger or bigger than the budgeted units, which means that you are spending more than the plan. Okay. So we have here units percent complete. I remember also that we are talking about the period percent complete here, not the total completion percent complete. Only this is by periodic. Okay, so unit percent complete is equals to actual cumulative unit divided by at completion units. Okay. It is different from if you divide it by the budgeted units. We will take up that later on. But now I am speaking of actual cumulative units divided by the at completion unit, then multiplied it by 100 to arrive in the percentage. So we have here as I said, the activity percent complete, meaning you have the choice for the three and it will inherit what the percentage of your choice for the three type of percent complete types, which is first is the DPC, which is duration percent complete. If you choose DPC, or I mean the duration percent complete, then activity percent complete type will adopt that percentage. Now next, if we will be using the PPC, which is the physical percent complete, the same way they will activity percent complete will adapt it if you choose the physical percent complete, and also for the units percent complete. If you adopt the unit percent complete, or you choose a unit percent complete, then the percentage of the unit percent complete will be equals to the activity percent complete. Okay, next, we will go to the expense units and cost. So I think you are already familiar with the expense units, your expense cost. So budgeted expense cost, we have the PEC. Actual expense cost is the RC. Remaining expense cost is the REC, and we have the at completion expense cost. Basically, that is always equals to the actual plus the remaining. Okay, next, we have here the current program activity cost, expense, and percent completes. So remember what we are talking here previously here. Let's say, for example, this one, we are talking about the expense. And here we are talking about the resource, right? And also here. But here we are talking about the activity. The activity cost. That means when we say activity cost, that is the total of the cost of the resources that is assigned into the activity. Or not only the resources, but also the expense cost that is assigned to the activity. Okay? So the percentage is intended for the activity, not for the resource. Remember that always. Okay, so resource percent complete is different than the activity percent complete, because activity percent complete is the total of the resource percent complete. Okay, you get me? I hope so. Okay, so we have the budgeted total cost. That is why we call it budgeted total cost, because it is the cost of the total cost of the resource and expenses assigned into the activity. So that is why budgeted total cost is the property of the activity. Okay, remember that always, because there are a lot of planners and schedulers, especially the beginners or the new ones, are confused of these percent complete types. That is why I tried my best to explain this way, so that everybody will understand how Primavera terminologies are being, being understood. Okay, because the Primavera has its own way of calculating or presenting or organizing the activities. Okay, so let me explain again that we have two types of presentation here, or the properties that we need to consider is the property of the activity and the property of the resource. So there are percent complete, which is intended for the resource only, and there is also a percent complete that is intended for the activity. So this is now what we are discussing. This is intended for the activity. Okay. Okay, next is the actual total cost. So that means this actual total cost is also the summation or the total cost of the cost of all the resources assigned into the activity. Okay. Next is the remaining total cost the same way, the same thing. So that means whatever is the remaining cost of the resources assigned into this activity will be the remaining total cost of the activity. Okay. Next, at completion, total cost. So it will go the same way that it is always an actual plus or actual cumulative plus the remaining. Okay, next is the cost percent complete. Okay, the cost percent complete, that is actually this is the, when I explain it, this is the total of the at completion percent complete of the resources. So that means whatever is the projected completion percent complete of the resources within or inside the activity, the summation of which is equals to the cost percent complete of the activity. So that is equals to ATC, which is the actual cost, total cost plus, or divided by the at completion total cost multiplied by 100% or 100 to get the percentage. Next is the cost percent of budget. So here what I'm talking about, in this cost percent complete, we are using the, we are dividing the actual total cost into the at completion total cost. But in here, the cost percent of budget, we are dividing the actual total cost into the budgeted total cost. So that means budgeted total cost is the original cost of the resource within the activity, while this at completion total cost is the cost of the activity or cost of the resource within the activity that is progressing, or I mean, what will be the efficiency or the performance of the resource within the activity. This is the value that will be arrived. So, okay. So budgeted total cost is different from the actual, I mean, the at completion total cost when the project already started or in progress. Okay, next, we have the duration percent of original. Okay, so obviously when we say duration percent of original, that is the actual duration divided by the original duration. Okay, original duration is different than the actual, I mean the at completion duration, because when we say at completion duration, that means the activity or the project is already impacted, and there should be a an increase or a decrease of the at completion duration compared to the original duration. Okay. Next, expense cost percent complete. So obviously that is the percentage of the actual expense cost here at the top, the actual expense cost divided by the at completion expense cost multiplied by 100 to get the percentage. Okay, so was this helpful or not? I hope so, because at least even just as little we catch up on this explanation, at least there is some help Okay, if you are in doubt later, then just get back to this video, to this figure, and slowly you will realize everything, the correct way of understanding the terms in Primavera P6. Okay, I hope that this could help us and be ready for our next episode. I think our next episode could be, next episode is part 4, session 8. This is still a part of Progress Update 001, which is the current update. And that is customizing Windows schedule delay analysis technique into the program updates. Okay, so I hope to see you in this episode. And then thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. And please, just a favor to give me a like, subscribe, and share. Okay, it's the end of our session, and God bless to all of us. And goodbye.